Hi, my name's Kyle Valle here with Big Squid Productions, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about camera choice and how it can help you to achieve the look and feel that you're trying to get out of your video content. Currently, we're working on a project entitled ZombieCon. Okay, this is a cosplay action horror thriller following a group of cosplayers as they take the streets of Los Angeles by storm, braving a zombie apocalypse in order to save who else? But mom. So in regards to researching the look, right, you have to spend a lot of time checking out your source material. And it's something you hear time and time again, but really you cannot spend enough time in pre-production. Now don't handicap yourself by just using it as an excuse not to get started. Set a firm date that's going to be reasonable and that's something that you can actually fulfill, and stick to that. Okay, because it's important that you keep moving at a steady pace. You don't want to sit in pre-production for 30 years. It's not going to help anyone. In regards to finding the look for ZombieCon, we've shot a great teaser that's using a lot of standardized filmmaking techniques. We shot it 4K, put a day's worth of work into it with a 2-people crew as usual. But for us, we put our time and made it look nice. Now for ZombieCon itself, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be trying to really bring out the anime visual element and I can't stress to you enough, the heavy contrast that's forcing the bodies to pop off the page. The camera that we'll be using chiefly for ZombieCon is this right here, the Blackmagic cinema camera. I'm really happy with this choice, and the reason that we chose it in order to give it the desired effect was the fact that it's shot in 4K. It came with the DaVinci Resolve package, which allows you to really have a great deal of flexibility in post and really lets you lock down exactly the color temperature, the saturation, and the contrast that you really want. So getting the feel, the look, the taste, whatever, of your film, you should certainly look into 4K cameras with they're going to give you a lot of digital information so that you can really play with and bend those colors in post and get exactly what you want out of it. That being said, this is an expensive option. A lot of add-ons and a lot of things that you need to kind of put around this thing in order to get it to work the way you want. It also has to be balanced with your budget. Everything in your production needs to be balanced. It's not just the camera, it's the lighting, it's how you use the camera, it's what your actors are doing, obviously all of that stuff, but cinematography wise, lenses, lighting, camera, all important, all need to work for your budget, and you can't sacrifice one in order to go for the other, okay? You got to try to find a way to balance all of those things together, and that's another really important part of your pre-production. Top 3 choices in camera would have to be, the big boy toys, the Arri Alexa, the Red Epic Dragon, stuff that really has that kind of industry standard stamped on it already. But, that's not in everyone's wheelhouse. It certainly wasn't in our wheelhouse. So we had to find a creative solution within our budget in order to solve that problem. It all comes down to this situation. What are you using the camera for? What is your budget? And what is the look that you're trying to achieve? To research the cameras, I did what I'm sure all of you do whenever it is that you have any question, right? I got online, I looked up every single tutorial, every single vlog about these things, trying to understand it from every single side. It wasn't just about the pros or the cons. It was trying to find the people who were skewed to both ends and the people in the middle. From there, I gathered all of that information and I made a determination based upon my needs and based upon my budget. And ultimately, that's what it always comes back to. Balance yourself, balance your production, balance your budget. Whenever you're researching a camera, there's not really a given amount of time that I can arbitrarily say is the right amount of time for you, okay? It's all depending on what type of materials or sources that you find and how reliable you think those sources or materials are. Now with both of these cameras, I found a great deal of helpful and not so helpful things online, just as you always will. But I wanted to properly vet them. We're making big financial decisions, and especially in the case of the Blackmagic, you're not just talking about a couple $1,000s. You're talking about $10,000 plus with all of the cool toys that you need to actually get it working in the way in which it's intended to work. So it's a big investment, and you don't want to make the wrong decision. So take as much time as you need to feel comfortable with it. When you can go to that buy button and feel utterly comfortable with that decision, apart from, feeling a little bit squeaky about actually spending the money, but it's the right thing to do, and you in your heart, in your mind, in your body are like, yes, and now you're just turned to excitement mode, then do it. But be honest with yourself. And people always get that wrong, right? They feel yes, but they haven't been honest to themselves. They haven't actually looked at what the counterpoints are. They watch all the positive reviews. They don't watch the negative reviews because they're mentally skewed to one in their favor. So just take your time, do a proper amount of research, look up both sides, and when you feel comfortable, pull the trigger. The most important factors of my final decision were budget, quality, usability, and most importantly for me, how much could I trust the company that's selling me the product? Now, I have to say that both of these companies, after working with them, do a wonderful job in customer support, and that fact cannot be overlooked. A lot of people will shave off a few dollars and then end up with a product that doesn't work and that they can't find any help with. So make sure you trust the company, make sure you trust the product, make sure it works for your budget, and then you're good. While researching these cameras, I didn't really reach out to my filmmaker friends to ask what they were using. Most of them use things like an Arri Alexa or a Red Epic Dragon, some, the big boy toys, and I didn't feel as if they had had as much actual usability with these cameras. Now, obviously, they've used them before. They're used to working with these extremely expensive rigs, and I just thought we were talking at different points and might be talking past each other a little bit. So I really trusted the internet. I trusted the people that I was watching. I trusted the tutorials that I was watching. I trusted all of the user reviews that I was watching. Now, not just arbitrarily, mind you, as I discussed before. It's all about trying to watch both ends of the spectrum, trying to find the guy in the middle, then trying to balance all of those things together. And you also have to look at something like trustworthiness. How much do you trust a person giving you the information? So just things to take into account. So I guess yes and no. Did I ask filmmakers for advice? No, I did not. Did I get a whole bunch of advice from filmmakers? Absolutely. Strengths and weaknesses. 4K RAW, that's your strength. Weakness? This thing needs like 3 cases worth of gear in order to get it set up and like make it happen. The Blackmagic fails pretty miserably in terms of shooting on the fly. Now, we've taken it right off sticks, we've taken it with just the lens, thrown it on there, and we've gotten some pretty amazing stuff, but it's an awkward shape, it's hard to hold, and you're finding those shots to be a little bit shaky. You want to get in Adobe After Effects and throw in a warp stabilizer, that's going to fix a lot of your problems as long as you got steady hands, but at the same time, I always feel uncomfortable holding this thing, even with the cage, kind of aloft without any type of rigging below it. You drop it, boom, that's the end of that. This, the Canon C100, which is our most recent camera that we've purchased, is great. Now, we're using this for ZombieCon as well, but we're using this for more of the, info tutorials, the video blogs, the vlogs, and other things that we're uploading onto the site, as well as a way for our characters to interact with the audience in a more virtually interactive way. Our production company purchased these cameras because they're things that we use almost every day. We're working, 7 days a week, nearly 12 hours a day. We never really get out of the studio, and we're just really filming. And guess what? We're filming. So renting them was not going to be a feasible option for us, nor was it going to be a financially, incentivized one. We're going to be losing money hand over fist, paying other people in order to rent these cameras, and ultimately not getting any type of long-term benefit. Also, it becomes a little bit tough if you're in a pinch and all of a sudden you need a camera, can't get one, can't find one, can't rent one. There could be some problems there. So in order to be professional, in order to be ready around the clock whenever, we needed to buy them, and that's what we did. Lenses, as with every purchase, lenses included, you have to take a substantial amount of time, and as I described with the camera, there's no set amount of time to do that. We've got a set of, think about 7 or 8 lenses, and I spent a varying amount of time on each one of those lenses to decide whether or not it was the right lens for us. But that being said, you need to do your work. You need to get out there, you need to watch a ton of videos, and you need to wait until you feel comfortable making that purchase. Only you are going to be able to be the one who decides ultimately when it is that you know enough. Okay, my timeline or anyone else isn't going to help you with that. For the Blackmagic, we've got a set of Cinema Prime lenses. In regards to that, it totally matters on what shot. I love the bokeh the 50 gives you, but the 85 is super sharp, right? We go down to 24 or 35 or 16, even a 14, all different, all give you differing effects, and each one fits a different place. So just like everything else, there isn't a favorite, there isn't one thing that trumps all. It's all about balance, and it's all about balancing what you need with what you have, with what you can get for what your final result needs to be. Because at the end of the day, there's good things and bad things. Not really in the middle. So make sure you do what you need to do to balance everything you need to get to the good end. Like with the cameras, we bought all of our lenses just because we use them so readily. It wouldn't be fiscally irresponsible for us to rent those lenses because we would end up spending and incurring more costs in rental fees than we would have if we actually just bought the lenses to start with. That being said, we're about to get into our feature film production of ZombieCon. You can check that out on Indiegogo. But we will be renting the lenses for that. And that's because we want to step our lens game up. We want to get into using some serious prime lenses, and we're talking about a $20,000 kit in order to buy those, and we're just not in a financial position to buy those. It all comes down to what type of lens you're trying to use, how expensive is that lens, and how often do you plan on using that lens. Now, if I was using a $20,000 lens kit on a daily basis and I was making money off of that, well, then the only responsible thing to do would be to buy those lenses. Did we get the look we wanted with these cameras? In Journeyman, yes, I got exactly what I wanted. I knew we were shooting at 422 HQ. I knew that we weren't shooting in 4K RAW, and I knew that we had a couple of limitations with that. We were also shooting so that it was very visually appealing for something like on an iPhone or a tablet. It wasn't just for the big screen, while also still making it very watchable on the big screen. That being said, we learned a lot from those experiences, and with this upcoming ZombieCon project, we're going to be shooting the entire thing in 4K. I want complete maneuverability, flexibility, and control over the color space, over the saturation, and over everything else that I need to work on in the back end so that we can give you guys the best, coolest looking product. Thanks again, guys. My name's Kyle Valle, and for me and all the squids here at Big Squid Productions, we loved hanging out with you guys today, and hope this was helpful and that helped you with your next project. Look forward to seeing you all on the Indiegogo page for ZombieCon.